No doubt. I mean, you got to get the vibes going. You got to be feeling positivity on the TSM side after that one. I love the comms over towards the end. They were so excited about the grenade damage that was coming down and collapsing on the teams behind the rock over there as we see the bow check bow back in action for the 50-50 for Charlotte Phoenix. Stink's trying to land some shots in, but he's not looking like the Legolas we saw before.
Yeah, no, not going to be able to land those shots as consistent. I mean, it's easy when you're in their face, too, but you see Stink taking a much more passive approach. From afar, though, did hear a crack going down. Going to be able to take this angle. It's going to be difficult to also contest Stink just in this spot alone, waiting for Bowser to actually approach from the flank. They're looking to sandwich this team, wondering who's on the other side here. Bowser's also got that Havoc in hand, doesn't have that turbo. They just landed here. That would be absolutely insane if he was able to obtain that. It's Washed who's actually sharing this 50-50 spot with them.
Now that the bubble's gone down, makes you wonder what they're going to be able to do here, because that's not even a playable bubble. It was just tossed down to get a little bit of cover so they could rotate around the corner. Not an ideal situation coming through, and this is taking a little bit longer than both of these teams probably would hope for, and the loot is pretty bad. Let's be honest. You have Sentinel, EVA 8 over here. Someone's got an alternator. This is not the fight that you're looking for, and you can see the nice head glitch angle coming through. Is the Sentinel going to be able to connect? It's not, and the EVA 8 shots aren't connecting either for Greek, but Bowser's going to come through with that Havoc. If you looked at all the weapons so far, the Havoc's definitely going to be putting in work along with the car.
Greek got robbed. He got robbed there. He barrel stuff with the Sentinel. He didn't manage to close it out. Now Zerbo, though, the last one alive here for Watch. He's trying to hit fire that Rampage. He gets the knock. Is it going to be enough as he dances around the knockdown shield? No! He cannot. Stink with the bow check. Comes out on top. And you have to imagine that fight lasting as long as it did. RCO Esports are nearby. XSET, they land nearby. So Charlotte Phoenix versus Wash in this 50-50 didn't come out as clean, as quick as they may have wanted. But at least they do come out with their Evo shields charged up. You still got those 2 blues and that 1 purple.
Perfect timing to pull up that map there. We could see what you were talking about. All the rotations from that northeast side could potentially happen very soon. But now everyone's making their way down towards the zone here. You could see it pulling on over towards the south side. Lazarus inside. OXG, they're popping off in the middle of the zone. You can see Hakulot and his squad, RCO, coming through. And RCO is trying to have themselves a day. What do you think about how RCO's played today, Vicky?
I love it. I love this performance from RCO. I had the ability to cast their Challenger Circuit performance, and I was really looking forward to seeing how the squad was going to do in the Pro League, and they are not disappointing me whatsoever. Again, they consistently stay within the top 10, and now after taking that dub, you heard their comms. You heard how positive they sound, and that's, again, that energy that you need to carry together as a team. Looks like TSM in some trouble themselves, kind of out in the open here, as a lot of these teams have made this real estate their home, but we've seen a very similar circle here, pulling all the way south of Barometer. We saw it Justin and Mia yesterday with GMT taking that dub, usually pulling over by the little island that has little to no cover minus the rocks.
I was wondering what happened for Vorholz. He just kind of disappeared on the map, and I was like, did he get eliminated, or what was that? It was a phase breach, from Hal to get out of there and get into a better position. But this is what we're talking about when we had the interview with Kick earlier today about cover for these defensive bombardments, and that's why you're seeing a little bit more Bangalore being utilized, and it's still surprising that no one's really picking that up on the Stormpoint side for NA and gotten the memo. They're still rocking that Gibby and the classic composition, but I love Loba for Sleepy Panda getting off the Cossack and switching on over. They're going to be in a good position over here towards the zone. Meanwhile, NRG, not their best performance, but we'll see if they're going to be able to pop off here like TSM did in the previous game. They're in the zone as well with their double rotation comp.
Kind of been the theme for today, right, Tom? We see a lot of these high-performing teams coming in from the Challenger Circuit, putting in waves here for today. Our T1 teams over on the other side of that page, though, now making the comeback. Ghost Gaming also in some trouble now. They're on the Trident. They're forced to actually just reset a little bit before they want to continue on their journey. It's W, though, with Fury on the horizon. We highlighted it before we even got into Stormpoint, how important this legend has been on this map because of the verticality that the Gravity Lift does provide here. Gives you nice view over a lot of the teams that are playing off over to the side and gives you that distance that you may need. But they're not going to fully send it on that team. Ghost Gaming get to see another day. They're going to get back onto that Trident and try to continue on with those southern rotations.
No doubt about it, Horizon gets stronger as the game goes on, similar to what Caustic does too, because once that zone starts to close, you can almost use it as that caustic ultimate, right? Just throw down that black hole and then start chucking grenades left and right. Atlanta Premier with aggressive skyward dive. Now the bubble's going to go down by the enemy team. There's the black hole that we were talking about. That's going to be Phony eating it to the PK, and Ronnie's taking some damage. That's the black hole sucking him up as well. Nicely placed, but no damage follow-up coming through. Atlanta Premier is going to take that free kill.
Oh man, now they're backing off immediately. Good call here as the third party is rotating in. Nightmares are making an appearance, but Ghost Gaming have the high ground over them. They're in a better situation. They also got the redeploy. Maybe they got the phase breach. Got to look at 6 real quick as Impulse is just going to be able to fly away. They're taking up this building right here just to make up for that lack of cover out in the open. They see a lot of more teams rotating in this direction, and they know what's at stake here. This is game number 5 now, Tom. These teams know how many points they need to be within that top 5 placing.
Barnoff just dropped a crazy knowledge bomb in our talent chat over here. Sleepy Panda is number 1 in kills overall, but he has 15 of the 22 kills before game 5. That's insane, Vicky.
Oh, wow. We saw him pop it up earlier on the edge with those Sentinel shots for a reason. I mean, he is landing his shots. He is warmed up, and RCO's ready to go. Today, you heard them. This is their day, and they want to be able to replicate that within these next few games on Stormpoint. Atlanta Premier are now forced to play this as a duo, too, so they're just going to be waiting things out, maybe waiting out on that redeploy.
That's what I was going to say. Well, Atlanta Premier, while they did leave that third party, and it was pretty well timed, they still lost out on Crook, which is one of the more valuable legends there, needing that Gibby. It's time to dip out, though. You can see Asur is not interested in staying. Instead of going over towards the lift, they're going to continue to foot this one. This is an interesting path decision coming through from the AP squad. Ghost Gaming on the outskirts of the building, too, looking over towards where they are, and also TSM waiting to third party if anything goes sour.
Oh, no. Asur gets taken down. Ghost Gaming, they wanted to fully send it on that team. They knew it was a duo, but they see that there's another squad waiting for them on the other half of that hill. So Ghost Gaming, they're just going to opt to prioritize their positioning instead. The ring is closing in right behind them in less than 30 seconds here, so they got some time to work with. It's just the first ring, too. So it's impressive to see how 2 of our squads have already gone down here. Scary also on the bridge here. A lot of these teams want to take more of these southern rotations to avoid all the pressure that's going to come from the northern side for a lot of these other teams that are rotating from the northern part of Stormpoint.
That's a good point, and there's so many different ways that you could go through that rotation. Find out which way is going to be the best one, but Scary's just putting down a handful of 30-30 shots. Unfortunately, not going to be able to connect with those, but still plenty of ammo to boot. Not going to be that big of a deal as the zone is going to pull away from them and the pings go down on the team on top of the hill. This is the number 1 priority right now. They cannot move forward or make any type of decisions until this team is gone. Could back off and run away, but that would be a bubble skyward dive type of play, and it looks like they're interested in this kill point.
They're just going to be able to play this safely. Nice tether and a nice follow-up with those 30-30 shots. We highlighted it before, but that purple 3-time scope was in the replicator. So, you know, Nizel, he had that sight in mind, literally. They're going to be playing from underneath this bridge here. We see some teams usually try to play a more passive role when they decide to take this rotation, but they're outside of the circle. They got to start inching their way into Ghost Gaming, but Ghost Gaming's got the better position in terms of where they're situated in.
Excited to see what Ghost Gaming is going to do with that positional advantage like you were talking about. Maybe they're going to get crazy with a phase breach if they are able to land down some serious damage. 6 is one of the more aggressive players that we have. Also about entry fragging as well. Great IGL with a boxing background. You know that he's going to be able to keep his team cool and collected in these sweaty type of games. But still with only 16 points, Vicky, they need to pop off here. With only a couple games remaining, good shots there onto the blue armor, and that's exactly what 6 does. I mean, his mechanics are amazing, his shots really on top of it, and the man just lets it rip.
He's still landing those wingman shots too. What I also really like from Ghost Gaming is the adaptation that they've made on Stormpoint. Originally, when we were taking a look at this team earlier on in NA at the start of Split 2, they were trying out Bang on Stormpoint. 6 actually was the one that was on Bang on Stormpoint, and now they've made the adjustment going over to the Ashe. They prefer these high mobile comps instead, so Ghost Gaming now taking a little angle. They want to try to fully send it on this team, but they cannot give up this high ground. Scary. They're crouching. They're inching their way in. Nice 61 shot, though, coming in from Nizo, but they lose so much health. Looking at Ganjaman, he needs to be careful.
They're also losing a lot of real estate by not using the bubble here. So that's kind of a wild bubble that isn't being utilized. Now one player is going to flank over from behind. Big 100 PK shot coming through. Now the Gibby's the last player alive, and that Gibby doesn't look like he's going to last very long. That's going to be Ghost Gaming going out in 17th place.
That was
some
insane.
Nasty PK shots.
Absolutely. That 100 though, and managing to actually clutch that out while the other player was busy focusing on NM Ego. I mean, scary right now. They come out on top, and now they're going to be able to take Ghost Gaming's position on this high ground here. Yeah, it's not in the circle, but they still have height over a lot of these teams that are making their low ground rotation through that bridge.
You had a feeling when when 6 came around the corner, looked like they had the positional advantage from the Ghost Gaming side. I mean, the bubble was more well-placed. They had the high ground. Everything was kind of adding up for them to win that fight. They just weren't able to hit the shots, and the PK really turning the tides of that fight. You're right, Vicky. Now we see what Lazarus is doing. They've been able to pick up a couple of scrappy kills here with the charge rifle along the way, and now Dank's looking for some more blood over on top of the hill.
Lazarus has that charge rifle. Dank is going to be able to put down some of that pressure. We highlighted how beautiful this weapon is on Storm Point. I mean, you have so much space to just ping down so many of these teams to boost up those Evo shields. G2, though, one of our most consistent squads in NA, are coming right behind XSET. XSET is in the middle of their rotation, so they're just going to ignore G2 for right now. They could actually go into circle first and actually try to circle keep G2 here in this position.
I like that idea. This is one of the spots that I struggle to fight at over here. I'm not going to lie. Once you fall down, it's really hard to get back over here. And G2, they're going to be making their way over towards the scan and a potential replicator if they want to continue to do the G2 thing. This is what they do, Vicky. You know, they sit on the edge, they chill, they get the scan for zone number 3, and then they make the big brain rotation. But one of the things you'll never really see from G2 is somebody else coming up from behind them in the zone. They're always the team coming up behind you.
Yeah, that's why it's so risky to play the edge of circle on Storm Point. It's not as rewarding as you would have on World's Edge. And G2, they recognize that. They're going to take their time. They're going to take a page out of Team Liquid's books, where we usually see them take their time outside of the ring to craft here in these replicators. So they're going to take their time with these meds. They're going to craft some of those shield bats, those med kits that they need to take this slower approach into that next circle.
I like the thought process, and there's a reason why they love sitting on the edge, because they love taking those fights. And if a third party comes, you never know if they have the gold bag with that Gibraltar and Resulta. He's always putting in some serious work. XSET, though, big chillin' with the flatline, and that flatline is strong. That thing is decked out with a ton of ammo. Should be feeling good. If you're Vayne, you can see the former 100 Thieves member fitting well on XSET.
Yeah, XSET, another team that has been putting in some work here today, and they need it. They need those points, just like CLG coming out on top of that last game, getting second place with those 11 kills. Love to see a nice underdog story here for teams that haven't been doing their best at the start of Split 2. Energy now making their next plan for where they want to rotate. They see the bombardment happening right in front of them, maybe trying to have an opportunity to see if they want to continue playing by the edge. But the reason why they're situated inside these buildings, because they know that a team could easily start rotating through the back with less than a minute left on the clock before the ring starts closing in.
It's been really refreshing when the teams that need to perform have their back against the walls. They are doing so, right? You were saying, where's Renegades going to be today? They've really popped off. They went from a relegation team potentially to a top 20 team. If they could get crazy, maybe they can make it into the playoffs. We'll find out. But RCO was a squad that needed to pop off. They are doing so. CLG needed to hold the line. They're continuing to do so. Charlotte Phoenix, however, they're coexisting on the edge of the circle with a team above them, and that's not going to be a good situation. It looks like a full team of 3 over there. Maybe baiting, maybe not. I'm not quite sure if Charlotte Phoenix has the intel on this.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte Phoenix have the horizon. They can quickly lift themselves up if they want to poke real quick, but they rather not. They don't want to take those chances, it looks like. They want to play this much more passively. XSET now taking the high ground here. Going to be on top of these rocks. Talk about XSET a little bit before, but that's Energy waiting for them inside of that bridge. But XSET, they're not really being blocked out from inching their way into that next circle, but they will be out in the open if they don't have the ability to get inside that building that's right in front of them.
The shots with the 2-4. One of your favorite scopes there, Vicky. Now it's on the R301 for Sweet, and he's going to just continue to pepper the players and be a nuisance on that side of the map. You can see Vayne's like, all right, you know what? I got something for you. I'm going to toss a defensive bombardment over here as we have to rotate a little bit forward. Could be I was going to say phase breach underneath the bridge, but they realize there is going to be a player over towards the side. Multiple teams in on this one. I don't think that they were expecting 3 teams over here, but that's a really great rotation from XSET.
Energy being able to funnel into that building. Yeah, XSET is getting pinged by that team that's on the high ground of Barometer, but that was a really good move to actually reposition immediately after hearing that phase breach. XSET recognized that that was one straggler that was off to the side of Energy to try to take a nice flanking angle, but XSET was not having it. They wanted to dive on that player, but the phase breach being on that Ash, that Energy is running that composition is going to allow them to get away from that troublesome situation. Now G2 though, in a fight, they're going to be able to drop down. They don't want to get third party themselves. We know how many players are inside of these buildings. G2 now going to be able to dive down. They get 2 knocked. G2 now going to be able to move all the way up. That's RCO. They're getting their revenge here. RCO now forced to run away. RCO was inside of this building for so long too, but with this Loba, she is out of there. There is no Loba now that's going to be taking over that building, but instead G2 are going to be moving in.
You also saw Renegades get eliminated in 15th place, so they're only going to pick up 1 placement point for this match. What an entry frag coming through, though. There was absolutely no fear in that dojo as RCO is on the run over here. Vatra is going to be taken down from TSM. I believe that was Hal with the flatline, and you can see exactly where TSM is located. CLG coexisting with Lazarus. You have Charlotte Phoenix over there. You have Serial in their squad with Kimchi Lee over there, possibly ratting, possibly with the squad. Not quite sure what that is. And LMK, one of our winners from our previous matches on World's Edge. Big chillin' as well. Can't wait to see how this one is going to pan out. A lot of teams still alive over here. So once this zone closes, you can expect probably to go from 14, maybe around like 10 or 7.
And now you have Sleepy Panda forced to play this out as
sleeping.
a solo. Yeah, now he has no other choice, though. Now he's forced to take a nap a little bit. He's got the black market, but he can't put it down without revealing his location, where these other squads may try to focus down on which of these other teams may be rotating in their direction. They don't know that it's just a solo right now, as XSET now also are going to make their rotation. They got the natural cover of the rocks, but with so many of these teams already just filtered inside of these buildings, it's going to be difficult to figure out where you want to place yourself. You have to fully send it on one of these teams that are already situated inside the circle to take their spot.
That's a great point, and they could be considering a 3-2-1. They're scouting out the player that was on the opposite side of them over towards the west side, but that's a decent amount of damage coming through as Nathan needs his banner recovered. Not quite sure how he went down, but that's not looking good for NRG. They have to rotate here fairly shortly, and without their Valkyrie Skyward Dive, this is going to be fairly difficult. Speaking of Skyward Dive, XSET going to take to the skies over here. Look at how many teams are thinking the same thing, Vicky.
That's like 3 redeploys out in our eyes. The skies are congested. They're full. XSET are going to send it on top of another team. What a way to third party them. And yeah, you just redeployed right here, but now you have the opportunity to clean up some KP potentially. Looking for the opportunity. There's been a dome. Now they send out their own dome. That's the space that they need as they fully send it in. See TSM in the feed popping off on their own too, taking a bite out of turns, and XSET now dancing around the side of the building. They're out in the line of sight of so many of these other teams. The phase breach has been unleashed though. One of the teammates have gotten away potentially as XSET are all down Vayne. They don't have a dome here.
In hindsight, that dome needed to be a little bit further in and not towards the zone. Unfortunate timing there for Vayne and the XSET squad. Now other teams trying to capitalize on that. You can see TSM and Verholz picking up some kills. Resulta is going to knock Rocker and get NRG out of here in 7th place. And just as anticipated, a majority of this lobby, half of the teams right there get eliminated.
Yeah, that's TSM fully sending it on LMK. Nightmare still playing on the lower end of that bridge. G2 have some of these teams on the bridge in their sight with Designful having the Volt in his mind. He's cleaning things up with the Wingman after getting the crack with the Volt.
The wing dude right there, Designful, is not letting up, and he's going to switch on over to the Volt. He doesn't need no scope, Vicky. He's going in without it. They're taking on over towards the high ground. When you see G2 moving like this, you just have a feeling that they are poised to win this game. But look who's on the bottom. It's going to be TSM. Do they have the bubble in Reps' hand? Hal's going to take out Aim God. Ganjaman gets the knock, and the finish is onto CLG, and that is TSM going down and eliminated by G2. Now we have them taking down low and the armor swaps as well. What a performance so far from G2, just cleaning out the entire bridge area.
Wow, and they need that spot too. I'm surprised Nightmare even was able to, rather Scary was even able to survive out of all of that. That was insane. They got away from underneath the bridge where TSM wanted to control the bottom part. There was 2 fights happening there, and G2 had cleaned up TSM. So Scary with that quick reposition. I'm wondering if that was a phase breach. XSET, I think, playing this as a solo, running across the water. I mean, help him. He's just a boy. He can't go anywhere. He's in the line of sight of G2. XSET, it's just Kenny. He's flying around. Can he get to the safety of the crate? No, he cannot. Scary now gets to pick up that KP.
Nice job by Ganja picking that one up with the 2-4. There's an immediate phase breach forward into a bubble play. Defensive bombardment possibly going to be used. Looks like they're trying to get the enemy bubble down as well. Like the plays coming in from G2, extremely aggressive. Now a potential head glitch if they can continue to push forward. Now they spot one player out, trying to get the focus fire on over there. Majority of them are fairly healthy. The enemy bubble does come down. Nades on the opposite side of the bubble as well. The tracking looking so good from Gentrifying. They're running out of ammo on the other side. Do they have armor stops here for Scary? They don't, so they're going to have to be going for the batteries while that's happening. Gentrifying's going to push it on over towards this side. A majority of the players from Scary are going to be down. This is going to be a 2-on-1 situation. Now a 1-on-1 straight up, and Designful doesn't lose those.
Are you kidding me? Scary just played this entire game out of their minds. Before taking out G2, they had 15 kills, Tom, and now a dub on top of it all.
They could have had a 30 bomb right there, too. That would have been huge, but G2 is coming through in style.